So welcome. I'll officially open our seminar. Glad everybody got the time right with this pesky time change we're living in, and in this crazy world. Can I just say that it's a real privilege for me to be chairing this. It's sort of a first for me with IRES. So we're hosting jointly the International Real Estate Society and the European Real Estate Society, just for the record. My name's Steve Williams. I'm located in Florida. Delighted that there's been so much interest in this topic. We've got almost a full house exploring the S in the ESG responsible investing mantra. I think many people think that this is probably the most important focus for this triple bottom line mantra. And we'll see today, we don't have all the answers, but we'll see today where we need to go as an industry. I dare say none of us claim to have all the answers, but we're going to attempt to define the S, to track it, to measure it, and really to get a handle on how our industry is making progress towards achieving some of the ESG goals. As you'll have seen in the brochure, we're lucky to have assembled quite an impressive team of experts, certainly a diverse group, both geographically and in their expertise. We've got academics, we've got a good mix of academics and practitioners. And I'm personally looking forward to listening to and learning from you all. Well, that's enough from me about the actual topic. And before I introduce our first speaker, can I just mention a couple of housekeeping items? First, let me talk about the format. In the next 5 or 6 hours, we have, as you've seen from the program, we have 3 main speakers and we have 3 panels following each speaker. And then there'll be 2 15-minute breaks, which I will call for, and I will monitor the time. And the seminar will finish with a Q&A session monitored by Patrick from Johannesburg. That will give the audience a chance to ask questions via the chat function. And I think some of the panels are also prepared to answer the questions if they come up on the chat. And I know Karen and Patrick are monitoring the chat for those questions. The 2 main requests about operating your Zoom, could you please obviously turn off the mute, just mute yourselves. And also, if you're not speaking, could you please turn off your video? That helps with bandwidth and it gives people a much better view of who's speaking. I think that's all I have to say. It's a great pleasure now to move into the seminar, and we're going to start with welcome remarks from both presidents of ERES and IRES. And first, Dr. Günther Meyer from Model University in Vienna is our ERES professor, president. And after him, Francois Baruli, if you would take over and give us a few remarks as president of IRES. So Günther, can I invite you to speak?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. It's great to see that at the moment 39 of you have made it into our Zoom meeting, and I hope, no, 40 by now. There will be more coming. This is also nice for me because, as some of you may know, I'm also behind the software that gave you access to this Zoom meeting. So it's always nice to see that the software you develop works. So yes, as ERES president, it's a great pleasure for me to start this industry seminar. ERES does usually 2 industry seminars a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. So this is obviously the spring seminar. And one education seminar in December usually. And it's great to collaborate now with the International Real Estate Society on this event. We started this collaboration in with the education seminar in December, and continue this now with this industry seminar. I would also like to thank Steve and all the other people from the organizing committee for the work they put together. They put in to put together this interesting group of people and of events. Let me just mention very briefly the main activity of ERES. That's the annual conference, and we are right now very busy planning the next annual conference, which will be held between June 22nd and June 25th in Milano, in Italy, probably in a hybrid form. So there will also be a chance to attend the conference via a Zoom meeting like this one, or something similar. And the good news I have for you is that when you have mastered to register for our software and to connect through that, you have mastered all the technical issues for the conference as well, because we're using the same software. So you can use your registration there to just register for the conference and attend the conference. I think the colleagues are still welcoming abstracts if you want to submit one. So feel free, join us either in person in Milano or virtually through our hybrid format. Okay. With that, I would like to turn it over to Francois to give his words of welcome.
Thank you, Gunther, and thank you, Steve. First, a great welcome from the entire IRES community, from our sister societies, where we are represented on all the continents on this globe. We have a number of our members with us on this seminar, and I think, and also a great thank you also to ERES, our collaboration with ERES to deliver this particular seminar. I think that we can't see a more apt subject for the International Real Estate Society to be dealing with. It goes without saying that the E of ESG impacts all of us. And as I looked at the seminar topic, I asked myself, would we have done this 2 or 3 years ago? And I doubt it. We may have looked at the E, but how in a matter of 2 years, we have grown our interest in the externalities of the property sector, whether it is E, S, or G. We're also seeing the research agenda developing through all our sister societies at the moment. We are taking this particular issue around sustainability through our conferences, and we'll have some output coming out of IRES and, of course, our sister societies during the course of this year. I'm going to keep it short, but I think what I would like to say is that the S is what we see around us. Our cities, the way we think about our cities, is an outcome of the S of the real estate sector. It goes from the public spaces that we create. It also reflects the positive impact that the sector is having on our cities. But I think it also shows the responsibilities and some of the problems that the real estate sector has created. And here I am thinking of my colleagues in some of our more developing countries as well, where we are dealing with shanty towns, extreme problems in our urban environment. And I think this all relates to S. I think that the housing problem that we are facing from Rio to San Francisco and elsewhere at the moment is very much involved with the S of ESG. My final view is this. I don't think that it's a matter whether S is more important than E or G, but I think where it really becomes interesting is when we try to understand the interrelationships between us. And we all heard of the green transition, what it can mean for communities, and our understanding of that as well. I also hope that during the seminar, we will take a broad perspective on S and not limited to the users of the buildings. Because yes, sometimes S is about the users and we don't go beyond that. So I think that will really be interesting. Some have argued that the last economist who got things right was Adam Smith, who talked of the wealth of nations rather than the GDP of nations. And the wealth of nations is really a reflection of the capital we create, our human capital, our natural capital, but also the wealth of a country is related to its social capital. And I hope that we will use this opportunity to discuss how the real estate sector has a fundamental role in creating the social capital that brings people together, that networks people together. The failure of social capital has all sorts of implications. Finally, I would like to also before I hand over to Steve, back to Steve, thank you very much, Steve, to the hours that has gone into this with you and the committee, all those involved from both IRES and ERES to get us to where we are. I look forward to the seminar. Thank you very much.